Hola. I am. I'm going to talk about COVID passports today, and I just checked Facebook, and someone I knew from high school, I won't say who, uh, gave this long reply to a long drawn out thing I wrote on Facebook, and my long drawn out thing was about you know um, COVID passports and what they're trying to do. Now, this person accused me of just being apathetic and not having regard for others, disregarding others, and that I'm the reason why this pandemic crap is still going on. Which sounds a lot like cognitive dissonance to me because um, it, it proves to me that they have no principles. These people, they have no principles. Never once took on the point that I made in my post, by the way, about how lefties would want me dead or anything. Didn't deny it at all. Um, Told me I didn't know the difference between a liberal and a leftist. I deliberately chose the word leftist, by the way. Well, no, leftists actually care about gun rights and things like that. And no, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. The leftists you're talking about are a few ANCOMs. Okay, you're talking about like fringe, like maybe some Antifa people like gun rights and things like that. Maybe some of those jokers, but I chose the word leftist on purpose. Leftist is a broad term. This person. Let me first give you sort of the rundown of what I wrote. I don't have it in front of me. I'm not going to read it word for word. It's a long thing. It takes about 5 minutes to read. It's well, maybe not 5 minutes, but it's long. But I essentially went through why COVID passports should be the line. And I told people, I said, look, if you are for this, you're not my friend. Um, we have nothing in common. Basically, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Like that. That is the line for me. There is no finding common ground or anything like that. And this person who was not speaking for themselves, it was clear that someone else, because I knew this person well in high school. Um, Clearly, someone else is in their ear about this, and instead of just, you know, instead of actually taking on my arguments. Now they did take on the leftist. They took on a little because I said leftist instead of liberal. No, you don't know the difference between liberal and leftist. Yeah, I do. You don't know the difference between a liberal and a leftist because you don't know the definition of liberal. The modern definition of liberal is not what liberal means. That's twisted. And if you knew anything about history, you'd know that. Shocker, shocker. Someone on the left doesn't know our history. Who would have thought, right? Sorry if this is a weird angle, but it's just what I got for setup right now. That leg is getting tired. See. I don't have it on a tripod or anything, but it's like there we go. Got stretch. They never take on our arguments. This is the point. And by "our," I just mean anyone who's right of Joe Biden, pretty much, right? It, and then they accuse me of apathy. Now, this person accuses me of apathy. Now, here's the problem with apathy, or with people using the term apathy, is they often forget what the word means. Everything I listed, you could tell by my post that I was passionate. There was no apathy in there. And then just telling me, oh, I don't care about people. Never once took on the fact that I mentioned the 99.97% statistic for survival rate of COVID. Hopefully YouTube doesn't take this down for the truth. Because it is the truth. According the CDC admits that. That's not. That's the official source, who, by the way, has lied about stuff. But even a source that I'm not really a big fan of, even listing their statistic is wrong, apparently. So it just shows that they have no line and that they don't care about violating our rights. And then telling me that, oh, civil liberties is just basically saying that equates to apathy. So now liberty is the same thing as apathy. See, this proves my point. There is, because this same person, if I said this to this same person a couple years ago, they would have been like, we have civil liberties. They would be fine with civil rights. It also shows how people get radicalized in college and with college, in the college world, college friends. But it also shows that they're making a false equivalency between apathy and liberty. Apparently, advocating for liberty means you don't like people. I mean, yeah, I'm not a big fan of people, but I stand for their rights. That's the whole idea of liberty, is standing for people's rights. What are you talking? I do that regardless. Okay, the Derek Chauvin trial is going on right now, right? And a lot of people on the right side are going, he shouldn't have been fired and blah, blah, blah. And I disagree. Yeah, I disagree with my own side. Yes, I do that. Because I actually have principles. I actually think that, yeah, the cops in this country do have too much power. I also disagree with the left on it. I don't think it's a racial thing, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I will criticize people on my side, my own family, my own friends. The majority of my family and friends are back to blue people. And I disagree with them. This leftist, okay, that's what I'm going to call him, okay, because he is. He's not a liberal. You know what the root of liberal is? Lib. You know where lib comes from? Liberty. That's literally where the word is derived from. So I'm sorry, you're not going to convince me that a liberal is someone who advocates for a QR code on your phone that tells people whether or not you've been vaccinated. And no, and they said, well, it's the same as vaccinations in the past. As if that makes it okay, because it's already a precedent. And secondly, no, this is still worse, because this limits where you can travel, where it quite literally where you can go, which stores you can shop in, what restaurants you can go into. It's that invasive. And your public health records your private health records are made public. They say it's secure, which is bullcrap. That's always what they say when they put your information in this big database. And then what happens? Oh, shocker, they're hacked or something. This happens all the time. It's happened with VPN companies. That's why there's only a couple good VPNs out there, because the majority of them have been hacked before. TurboTax had hacking issues a couple years ago. And I think they were stealing money from people and overcharging and stuff, and they got in big freaking trouble, right? And they were people's tax records got out, and it was a whole scandal. It was like a multitude of things that they were doing that was terrible. But this happens all the time. There's hackings all the time. Your records are out there all the time. Now, I'm not going to go down a rabbit trail about hacking and how government servers aren't actually that secure and yada, yada, yada. But you get the point. I don't want my health records put out there. Like, oh yeah, by the way, this person, because if it's on your phone, say you go into a restaurant, you got a QR code on your phone, that gets scanned, right? Well, now those people know whether or not you've been vaccinated, and they can share with someone else. It's really invasive. And you should legitimately be worried about something like that. So it is different from vaccinations in the past. And secondly, accusing me of being the reason, it's people like you why we're still dealing with this. No. It's not the government. No. It's not the government response to it all. It's not the state telling people that they have to stay in their houses. It's me not getting vaccinated. Where is your line, leftists? I refuse to call this person a liberal, just to piss them off. I hope they see this video. You have no line. That's the point. Don't lie to me and say it's about safety. And by the way, they never took on my point I made in the video about how safety has been used to commit some of the worst atrocities in human history. Safety in place of liberty is almost always worse off. But I'm apathetic. Apparently, civil liberties doesn't matter. I'm advocating for more freedom because of the record of liberty. It has been better for people overall. Millions of people have been lifted out of poverty because of liberty. And what you're saying is that we limit that more than we already are. But I'm the apathetic one. For wanting to advocate for a philosophy that has saved more lives than almost any other. Go to hell. Okay, that's my message. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of arguing with these people. They don't. Do you get it? I swear I put this post out, couldn't even wait a day before they put out one, and they prove me right. They did exactly what I said in the flipping post when I said these people do not care about logical consistency. Not even maybe 24 hours not even a day later someone responds to it with the exact response that I expected. Except one thing. I will say this. They laid out their arguments. I mean, they were terrible, but they laid out they at least weren't just yelling at me in the post, essentially. There was an attempt at a debunk, but it was really pathetic. I mean, come on. You're telling me I'm apathetic when I lay out in the freaking post why I care about this issue. Isn't apathy the opposite of caring? But they don't care. See, it doesn't matter to them. All they care about is winning. This is the left. The left hates us. And by us, I mean anyone who's not them. I don't care if you're a centrist. I don't care if you're an ANCAP. It doesn't matter, or anything in between. Okay? Personally, I'm further to the right politically than most people. I emphasize politically because if you say far right, then people assume you mean fascist or whatever, which is not even true. That's not what a fascist is. But no, I want as small of a government as possible while, while still having some sort of, I still think we need a government to an extent, but what we have now is borderline fascism. And the left they are so keen on lying about what it is that their goals are. That Joe Biden gets into office, someone who's more fascist than Donald Trump, and I'm not saying Donald Trump was a great president, he wasn't, but Joe Biden gets in, institutes more fascistic policies, and they go, that's what we want right there. They cheer it on. Do you understand these people? They do not care about you, about the country, about their neighbor, and they will do whatever it takes to demonize you. They want to feel good about themselves. They want to have a cause so then they can go, oh, look at me, I'm on the right side. Okay? Oh, you're not wearing a mask because you want to kill grandma. Okay, what about all the people committing suicide right now because they're alone? What about all the people dying of heart disease and the obesity epidemic is going to only skyrocket? Hey, look, if you want to get fat, now is the perfect time to get fat. Oh, that doesn't matter. See that's all a figment of your imagination. We've never done this in history. Even the Spanish flu, people wore masks during the Spanish flu. That did really happen. They never shut down the country. It's never happened. Dude, people traded en masse during the Black Plague, which had a much higher death rate than the coronavirus. This is their like March on Selma or their Normandy moment. Okay? These people are sad. They're pathetic. They're so this is the problem is so many people have been raised, so many men in this country. This was a man too. Man. There's so many people in this country who have been raised to be weak. Weak, pathetic soy boy men. They've never been in a fight. They've never been hit in the face. They've never fallen, or if they have, like they don't understand struggle. They don't get it. They haven't struggled. And because of that, they have to have some sort of struggle to give their life meaning. They haven't had anything to overcome. They haven't had anything to mold them as a person. Do you understand? So they have to manufacture something and make something up. It is pathetic. It is ridiculous. I've never seen so many people in all my life be so weak. Okay? If you want, here's the final, because I only have so much time left that I can record on this. There's some stuff on here I gotta delete, and there's other videos that I forgot to delete on the phone after I uploaded them and all that. So I only have about a minute left here, like a minute and a half. So let me just make this point. If there was ever a time to stand for liberty, it's now. And don't be put off by these people. You do not even don't give in to them. And I'm not saying don't debate them or nothing, but if it gets to the point where they're just gonna, where they keep going back, like I maybe respond, maybe say, hey, that's not what you're misrepresenting me or whatever. Give them a chance. Give them a chance to actually have a civilized debate. And I'm gonna do this with this person. Facebook wasn't working, so I was trying to reply and it wasn't loading. I'll try it again later, and I'll see. But if they keep this crap up, just ignore them. Be like, no, liberty. I don't care. Well, why? Forget the logical arguments. I made my logical argument, and they don't want to hear it. That's fine. So here's my new argument. Pete Quinones said this, and Good on him for saying it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. It's self-evident. Liberty is self-evident. And that's it. You have no right. Period. End of story. I don't care. Declaration of Independence, baby.